Hey everybody, welcome to my video. My name is Chris, and so those of you who have been tuning in, who have been watching my videos, thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the love. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to give it a shot at least, right? So thank you for that. What I've been learning doing these videos is that while people enjoy the longer videos, you know, because YouTube will tell you which ones how long people stay on your videos. So while people enjoy the longer ones, because of what I'm using right now to record these, I gotta keep them short. Otherwise, it's gonna start cutting me off, which is what happened to me yesterday. It kept cutting my videos off because of cloud storage, right? There's a big old cloud out there. However, I have to pay for storage if I want it. So that's to come. But till then, let's get started. Today's June 7th. We're going to read out of our book, The Daily Reflections. And the title for today says Long-Term Hope. Since most of us are born with an abundance of natural desires, it isn't strange that we often let these far exceed their intended purpose. When they drive us blindly or we willfully demand that they supply us with more satisfactions or pleasures than are possible or due us, that is the point at which we depart from the degree of perfection that God wishes for us here on earth. That is a measure of our character defects, or, if you wish, our sins. That's from 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 65. This is where long-term hope is born and perspective is gained, both of the nature of my illness and the path of my recovery. The beauty of AA lies in knowing that my life, with God's help, will improve. The AA journey becomes richer, the understanding becomes truth, the dreams become reality, and today becomes forever. As I step into the AA light, my heart fills with the presence of God. My God, that's beautiful. You know how many times I've read this and I don't remember ever reading that piece of it that says the AA journey becomes richer, the understanding becomes truth, the dreams become realities, and today becomes forever. Wow. So in this particular reading, the first part, it talks about what the problem is, and the second piece of it is actually a promise of working the solution. So in this book of Alcoholics Anonymous, this reading is actually from the 12 and 12. But in the big book, the blue one, what I've learned is about my illness. What does it mean to be an alcoholic? Like, what does that really mean? What does it look like? Because it doesn't look like what it looks like. It's not just the bum on the street. It's not just the homeless one. It's not just the one that reeks like alcohol. There's people who smell really, really good who are alcoholics. There's people who show up to work every day who have a problem with their manner of drinking. So there, it doesn't discriminate. You can't see it. It's not always what you think it looks like. So when I read this big book, I learned exactly what that is. What does it look like? Right. So during the process of recovery for me, I learned that. And in step 6, I learned how my natural desires, the stuff that I was born with, my hopes, my dreams, my wants, my needs, everything that Chris needed to fulfill his life, right? To do what he was put here on earth to do. He was equipped with all this stuff from the get-go. He was equipped with everything that he needed. But somewhere along the way, I got this stuff. It could be these things, and I used it to my advantage. And when I saw that they worked, I used them to manipulate people to do things that I wanted them to do. So that's where everything that I was born with, I actually used it to do harm. like how smart I was, like how cute I was, like how charismatic I am. You know, all that stuff. I have to be careful that I don't use those things to manipulate people to do what I want. I mean, I gotta be real careful with my words nowadays. Not because I think I'm that powerful or all that, but because I know what I used to get people to do when I was drinking. I know how I would get people to buy me drugs, buy me alcohol, do what I want, do what I want with them. I mean, there was this thing that I had that I knew that I could use as a tool, but also for others as a weapon, right? So that's where they became, that's where I went from a character defect, you know, into full blown out sin. So, because I was using it to do things that were against my own nature, which is what is can also, you know. So I don't want to go into too deep into that, but I was using the things that I was born with to my advantage. And at some point it became very unhealthy and very toxic. So as we've been talking about step 6 became ready to have God remove all the defects and characters. Are we ready? Are we becoming ready? Have we seen how it's messing us up and causing us harm? Can we see today how some of the stuff that I even did last night, it was probably not any good for me. You know, I stayed out till late. That's what I did. I stayed out till late because I love hanging out with my friends, and I love talking recovery, and I love doing things, fun things. So while I still like that, it's not, you know, that could harm me, because I was like falling asleep driving at the wheel. You know, I was falling asleep driving last night coming home, and that's not good. So that little thing that I love to do can actually hurt me if I'm not careful, right? Carrying the message can actually hurt me if I'm not careful. Carrying the message can hurt me if I put myself in dangerous situation. And we all know. As adults, we know, folks. Sorry, not that I hate's a strong word, but I cannot, for the most part, sit here as an adult and say that I didn't know that was the wrong thing to do. That's dishonesty. I'd be lying, right? Okay, so with every step there are promises. Some are more talked about than others, right? But this second part of the reading is a promise of step 6, is that I will grow in understanding. I will grow in effectiveness. You know, talking about the nature of my illness brings clarity. It brings me choice to be different, and in being different, it brings me hope. It brings me life. It brings me joy. It brings me forgiveness. It brings me passion. It brings me more desire to do those other things that I never wanted to do. You know, there used to be a time when I used to say, man, I don't care about money, blah, 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 blah. But I really did. Not because I wanted to be rich and own the world, but because I wanted to make sure that I have enough food on the table and a nice place to live and a brand new car, which I have all now as a result of staying sober. I have all those things now, right? So as I grow in the program, I start to gain those things that I once wished for, and therefore also gaining new wants and new wishes and new dreams and new desires. So the longer I stay in here, in the recovery, in the process of recovery, the longer that I trust it, the more that I apply it to my life, the more that all my needs and wants change, right? Because first, I'm single. I'm gonna speak generally right now, because this is could be the evolution of Chris, but of the evolution of what life could be like for others. It's not my evolution. You know, I don't have any kids. I'm not married or anything like that. But let's just say you get into recovery, you're doing really well, you get a nice job, and then you decide, hey, I have a nice job, I have enough car, everything's great. I would like a family. So then that's a new desire and a new want, right? So you get your girlfriend or your wife or whatever, and then y'all decide that you're gonna get married. So that's a new want and a new desire, right? You found somebody that you want to meet, you want to be with forever. And then you marry the person, and then now Now you need a 2-car garage for both of your cars. You know, there's certain things you don't need that stuff, but now you want that stuff, right? So you work towards that. And then one day you decide that you want to have kids, right? So then you have, excuse me. So then you decide that you want to have kids. That's a new needs and wants, right? So then your desires are growing, they're changing. You're having you're evolutionizing. I don't know if that's a word, but there's an evolution. The process is growing. You're going through it. You're gaining new perspective. You're gaining new hope. You're gaining new desires. Your life becomes richer. You're understanding that at this point now you want kids. Well, now you have kids, and maybe you're a level of understanding. If you stay sober, right? Oh, I gotta put some money away because I want my child to go to college when they grow up, when they graduate. I want my child to have everything that they want, that they need, right? So you start saving, start putting some money away. You start maybe making some investments. As you get older, your kids are grown. You're a grandpa now. You start planning vacations, new different wants and desires, and riches. Right? Then you start planning your will. Who's gonna keep the house? Who's gonna keep the money? Where do I want my stuff to go? My artifacts. What I want my funeral to look like, right? So as life goes on, everything changes. When you change, definitely it's gonna change a lot. Because if I would have never changed, I would have stayed forever thinking that, been in that state of hopelessness that I don't really care what money is, what about money, when I really did, because we were poor. We were poor growing up. And we would go days without eating. It was hard. There was times we would live, we didn't have hot water. You know, and to me, wherever I go, it's like, man, I gotta have hot water. I can live without a lot of things, but I need hot water because I spent so many times taking cold showers that I decided one day I didn't want to live like that anymore. Just like with alcohol, I spent so many times ruining my life. My body was unhealthy, kept messing everything up. You know, the longer I stayed out there, the worse things got. And then I just decided one day I didn't want my life like that no more. I wanted to progress. I wanted something different. I wanted a life worth living. I wanted a life that I've been dreaming about. And this is where I got it. Staying in recovery is where I got it. That's where I got the life that I've been dreaming about. Because before I got here, I was hopeless. I thought I was destined to die an alcoholic life. And that's not pretty. It's not cute. It's very hard. Watching people that I love to go through it is hard. So I'm sure it was hard for people that love me to watch me go through it. It was hard. And how do you get to me? How do I get to Chris? What do I tell him? What do I do so he can get recovery? Right? I seriously believe that I'm the person that, you know, that people pray for. Pray for when they say, let's pray for the lost. Let's pray for the still suffering alcoholic. Let's pray for the child born without a choice. Those prayers were the prayers that brought me into these rooms. I remember one time I told my mom, and I didn't want to tell my mom that I was in recovery because well, that was our lifestyle, right? We had our lifestyle was drinking and drugging and partying and blah blah. No, but my mom was a good person though. You know, I talk a lot about her because it was hard watching her live her life. But she was she had a really big heart. And she never got this program, right? She was introduced to it, but never wanted it. But she had a big heart, a huge heart. And I didn't know how to tell her that I was in recovery because people were already shaming me, right? For not drinking anymore. And so, you know, I just told my mom, I was like, Mom, hey, I'm going to tell you something. And she says, you know, she was always like, she was cool. She was like, anything, tell me anything. But then she would brace herself because she was old school. She didn't know what I was gonna tell her next, right? Just like when I came out to her, she braced. After I came out to her, she would, like, anytime I said I want to talk to her, she would, like, brace herself because she never knew what was going to come out of my mouth. But she was always very accepting on the other side. So So this particular moment, I said, Mom, can I talk to you? She's like, yeah. And so I went and talked to her and I said, Mom, I'm in recovery. I said, I want to stop drinking. I'm going to start going to AA. And I want to change my life. And I didn't know what she was going to say either, right? And she said, she like did a big old sigh of relief. She went, she goes, finally, God answered my prayers. Even my mom, that I would drink and drug with, was praying that I would get sober. God, what a story. I can't make that up, people. That's true. That really happened to me. And I'm sure it's happened to a whole bunch of other ones. I mean, all those prayers, they don't go unanswered. Maybe they're not answered on your timeline. Maybe you're praying for something right now that you've been praying for the last 6 months and nothing's changed. Don't give up. It's going to change. It's going to come through. One day somebody's going to walk up to you and be like, you know what? I don't know why I've never told you, but I really love you. Somebody's going to walk up to you and say, I don't know why I've never told you, but I don't want to be like this no more. I'm sorry. I don't know. You never know. Somebody, you might get the phone call and be, man, I don't know why I've never told you this. It's been on my heart. You deserve a raise. You deserve a promotion. It might be the 15th time you apply for the home loan and you've been denied every single time, and you're going to get your yes. You're going to get your yes. It's going to come. Because that is the desire that you were born with. That is desire that has evolved with the progression of your life. That is desire straight from you know who. Straight from the higher power. He put a desire in me to get those things that I want. To go out and reach for them. To go out and seek them. With his guidance, with his help, with his power, that I was going to have all those things. And I got to keep it real short because I really don't want to get cut off. I want to be able to say bye tonight. So I'm going to read this last little sentence of hope. It's straight out of this book. You can buy this book and you can read along with me, or you can read it on your own. It says, the journey becomes richer. The understanding becomes truth. The dreams become realities. And my today becomes my forever. There's hope in this program. And in the end it says, as I step into the AA light, my heart fills with the presence of God. I never knew that was an option for me. I thought that what those people told me, that God didn't love me because I was this and this and this and I had done that and that and that. If I would have believed what they said, I would have been dead right now. But I'm so glad that somewhere along the way I said, no. Not my God, not my God. You watch, you watch, you watch, you watch, you watch. And the more I said, you watch, you watch, you watch, he showed out on me. Not on my time, but on his time. See, I wasn't here 7 years ago. When I moved to Austin, I knew nobody. I didn't have a place to live. I knew I was making some money. And then so that got me here. That got me here to Austin. Trust me, that when that money got cut off because my schedule changed and the hours changed and they did this and they did that, man, I had to find a way to hustle. But my desire was strong enough to get me here so that when I got here, I would learn what I need to learn to be able to survive in my future. See what I'm doing today, while my story is true, while my story has brought me here, what I did today is about what's going to take me there, right? My pastor always says, your character's got to be able to keep up to where you're going. So, if I'm holding on to my old defective character that never got me nowhere, then I can't go where I'm going. I got to let those go. So I can have character building. So my character can be built because I want to go to the next level. I didn't come here to stay in one place, folks. I'm not that person. I came here to keep moving, to keep searching, to keep looking, to find new things, to have more fun. That's what I was put. I truly believe that that's what I was here to put for. Don't get lost in my outside. Don't get lost in that I'm a transgender man. Don't get lost in that. And if you're that person, don't let that label get you lost. inside you're a soul. Just like me, just like her, just like him, just like that person, just like that person. And souls know nothing. They're just here to do what they're here to do. And I truly believe that my soul was put on this earth to have fun, to break cycles, to become a chain breaker, so that my life, so that the next generation of my family, of ours, my linkage, it'll be different for them in the next life. It's already different for me in this life. I've already done a lot of things that my mother never did, that my father never did, right? But I'm breaking the chains. That's what I mean. They're great people. My father's a carpenter. He's wonderful at it. He's a genius carpenter. You know, I'm talking about in the spirit realm, right? So, anywho, I love sharing my time with you. I really got to cut it short because I have to do a Spanish one, and I can't take up too much of my cloud space, right? Because it's a big old cloud, and it's raining. That thing is just, it keeps me in this, like, really? This really moment. There's like so much storage out there. They call it the cloud, but it runs out. And if you want to buy, and if you want more, you got to pay for it. Huh? What are we living? Technology. It's wonderful. And so is recovery. Recovery is the best. It's never let me down. It's given me the life that I've always wanted. It continues to do so the longer I stay here. So I know today, no matter what, if I don't drink, if I don't drug, if I don't let these character defects come out based on my emotions gone wild, because my emotions do go wild some days, you know, I have a really good life. And even if I mess up, I know that I have a way to correct it. As we move further along the steps, we'll talk more about all that, about the reparation of damages done. But for now, I love you. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for your time. I know you could be listening to anything right now. However, you just spent the last 22 minutes listening to me. And I really, 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 really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.